Good morning. Just a quick reminder, obviously you know this, put your cell phones away if you have them out. That's it. Today we have the honor to welcome on campus a group of young people coming from a country far away from our own, Rwanda. AP Human Geo students, Locke, I know you know what Rwanda is. Rwanda is known to the world as the place where in a period of 100 days, 1 million people were murdered by neighbors, friends, and colleagues. When the atrocities happened in Rwanda, the whole world abandoned Rwanda because for the world, Rwanda is not a place of strategic interest. Those were the words even of our own president, President Clinton. However, very few people know what led to such massacres, and fewer people know about what happens after a genocide. What happens to a generation that comes in after such a tragedy? What happens to those who were either too young or not even born yet enduring the genocide, but who are living in the aftermath of it? Well, we have some young friends here that you'll meet today who are here to tell us about it. Today we are honoring the Rwandan debate team. The debate team is an organization that teaches young Rwandans the art of debate as a means to overcome the tragic history of genocide. Jean-Michel, Maya, Clemence, and Monique. Monique is a junior in college. Maya and Clemence are in high school, so you'll be able to connect with them. They're on a 17-stop U.S. tour entitled Voices from a Post-Genocide Generation, where they are sharing stories about Rwanda, but most of all, challenging people to use Rwanda as a lesson so that what happened there doesn't happen anywhere else. So they've come to us from the University of Michigan, and after they leave Taft, they'll be on their way to Boston. But they've been around all day, all week, basically, and so I want to warmly welcome them. Please join me.
Mukomere cyane. My name is Rwanda. But excuse my untold identity. See, I was born in a time of history where your survival depended on your identity. Didn't matter if you were Munyarwanda. No, what mattered if you were Hutu, Tutsi, or Twa. And what am I? Well, I don't know exactly, because I'm just not really sure about my history. See, apparently if you're tall with a thin, long nose, you're a Tutsi. And if you're short with a wide nose, you're a Hutu. Then some others say your tribe depended on the number of cows you had. Now, please excuse my confusion. See, I was raised in a time of history where my history wasn't so clear anymore, where my story was written by Westerns, and which story to be told was decided by colonialists. Now, please excuse my confusion. The thing is that I'm not so sure about my history. My name is Rwanda. See, I come from a place where Hutu killed Tutsi. But no, that is not my point. My point is, father killed son. Mother killed daughter. Husband killed wife, wife killed husband, neighbor killed neighbor. Pastors killed their very own followers. My point is, Umunyarwanda killed Umunyarwanda.
Dear future child, let me tell you about your grandfather. The main adjective that would have described him was responsible. He loved his family so much, as his children, his wife, and in an inexplicably strong way, his siblings and their children. He was born fourth in 10 and was among the few who actually went to and finished school before the time of his death. In his inexplicable love, he had paid for the studies of his younger siblings without a single complaint, even assisting, putting aside his needs. He had no extra money for all that and was sometimes missing even a few coins, 35 Rwandan francs at the time, to pay for a taxi, forcing him to go to work by foot under the burning 2 p.m. sun of Kigali that you will get to know. As you can imagine, he was whip-smart and a spot-on analyst. Due to the fear of exposing his family to the cruelty of the regime at the time, I assume he never engaged in public political demonstrations or debate. He did not support the regime, on the contrary, but he was just a man trying to protect his family, silence being the only way. In his analysis, he relied heavily on logic. I mean, it's logical that the UN would never let massacres happen, right? He trusted them as anyone could have, and they failed him, abandoning him and a million lives to die. He was killed the day after their departure, Saturday, 9th April, 1994. Upon hearing the news that they were leaving, he turned to my mother and said, "Ce sont les catacombes." Again, his analysis was spot on. Before being shot dead, he pleaded for our lives. I, my siblings, and my mother's. "Winyicira umugore n'abana," he said. "Don't kill my wife and kids." Did I mention he was the man to whom everyone upon meeting him, even you, I'm sure, at the end of this letter would drown to immense respect for him? The dignity with which he conducted himself gave him almost a sovereign air. Maybe the killer saw an incredibly respectable man who had accepted his capital sentence with almost sympathy and comprehension for the killers. I get it, I have to die. They surely thought he deserved death for having the wrong box I checked in his ID, but they also saw a man scandalized by the idea of even considering killing women and children. Maybe what went through their minds is, yeah, sure, he's a Tutsi, an Inyenzi, a cockroach, a good-hearted one who has to die. But his wife and children? That would be a little too much. Or maybe they were just in too much of a hurry to go and kill a neighbor and his family before it was dark. Maybe the chief of those in Interahamwe had a stern wife who expected him home early. Our neighbor, his children and wife were massacred, leaving only one survivor. The bullet touched one of her kidneys, which left her with struggles to conceive for years as a married woman. Or it was just because they hoped to come back at midnight and rape my mother, whose ID had the right box checked. In the safety of the night, as they had told her, "Uturindire turagaruka saa sita z'ijoro. Wait for us, we will come back at midnight." She did not wait. A woman told her she will surely die, as with her that midnight. We hurriedly left the house, struggling to find a path among the looters, busy tearing apart the house my mother had never wanted in the first place, to find refuge at one of the neighbors. That is how we escaped our first encounter with death, and there were many encounters with death after that in the following 3 months. But that's another story for another time. Your grandfather pleaded for our lives, and for whatever reason we lived. He gave us a chance to grow up and become abagabo, men. He gave you a chance to see the light one day. Was he perfect? No. He was human, made mistakes, and even hurt people, just like any normal person. 2 years ago, I discovered some things about him that left me deeply disappointed and wondering if we would have gotten along. That was me forgetting that I am myself as far from perfect as one can be. And I decided to forgive him for something I'm not sure he would even be sorry for. But that's life, baby. Nobody's perfect. There must be a question on your mind right now. Why address this letter to you, especially that I do not plan for your arrival for at least the next 7 years? Don't I have friends? Tell me, who else would be better to talk to about a relative you love but never met than a relative you love but have never met? Who else would you tell about how it feels to lose your father over something as futile as the shape of a nose? To have to listen to your friends say how cool it is to have a dad because moms are so strict? To realize you could become president one day but that he will never know? to want to make someone proud you never sure you would have liked, to grow up wondering if you got your weird skin on your toes from him, to be moved by someone saying you have his eyes, to have lost him when you were 8 months old, to remember he's not there mostly during celebrations because you see tears and nostalgia in your mother's eyes, to want to figure out why the surviving uncles and aunts were virtually absent in your childhood. Was the responsibility too much, or it's your mixed blood? I'm sure you will listen, understand, and maybe cry a little when you find out how much his forced absence affected me. I hope the reason will be that I will have chosen the right father for you, even though I know as much about a good father as I know about astrology. Astrology has something to do with stars, right? I hope to find someone who will heal my wounds and fill the void my own father left through loving you. I hope you will not find yourself in the position I'm in, 20 years old, talented, and with success waiting for you, but clueless about the most primitive form of love. Maybe the reason why I'm already worried about this is because I had a wonderful mother who put aside the unimaginable pain of being widowed after only 5 years of marriage, 28 years old, with 3 kids, to raise in the best way she could. She made sure we did not realize something as big as a father was missing. She succeeded so well at this that until I was 14, she couldn't give me permissions a father probably would have given me. I thought fathers were completely useless, just people you call dad, a name that has have much meaning to me as snow. I've only seen it in pictures. I don't even think I realize up to now the usefulness of a father, and I hope that watching your father with you will teach me and heal me. Take care. Till you may be in 7 years or more, and hold on tight. Someone already deeply loves you and is planning ahead for you. Love, your future mother.
Voices from a post-genocide generation. Thousands of bodies lay scattered on the streets. Rivers were filled with blood and churches denied their purity. A nation so dark that its children witnessed their innocence snatched. As the thoughts of these horrific moments read through my mind, I begin to wonder, what caused these unhuman acts? My heart is haunted by how much energy was used to wipe off the dignity and humanity within 100 days. What caused a man to forget his roots, to wipe out those he bore, to strip them of their right to life? An answer to this question will take the Rwandan society decades to explain. Families that we never once saw, children we never had the opportunity to play with, were all but a memory in the minds of the few that managed to walk through the valley of death. What stripped them of their right to life? I was always told it is because of who they were. This sounded vague in the mind of a child. As I tried to ponder the statement which was too hard to grasp, I finally came to a conclusion that I should stick to what I was told. A post-genocide generation fills the growing population of the once declared dead nation. Redemption from the ruins that lay in the past fills Rwanda with a new hope. Will the post-genocide generation heal the wounds of the nation? Yes. They will nurse its wounds, but will never erase its history. They will rise, but will forever be tasked with passing on the lessons learned from the genocide to other generations. Lighting a candle in the hearts of many through voices of peace and love is what illuminates the future of Rwanda and the whole world.
My name is Rwanda, or should I say, the new Rwanda. That Rwanda that defined and longs for the old Rwanda. That Rwanda that defined unity, that defined harmony, that Rwanda that defined humanity. I long for that Rwanda that my grandfather wanted me to know. That Rwanda before the time of the outsiders came to remind us of our differences. Differences that we had lived with for centuries. But wait, which differences? The height, the weight, the nose or the eyes? Or who leads and who follows? Honestly, why should we care? And if we claim this isn't who we are, if we claim that it was introduced to us by outsiders, then why are we still chained? Chained to a past that brought the worst. And maybe if it's too hard to go back to the roots, then why not take care of the present leaves? I plead with you, fathers, drop the greed for authority and focus on what matters. I plead with you, mothers, teach us the songs of love and not of hate. I need to breathe the air of freedom. I need to breathe the air of sweet reconciliation. I need to sing songs of peace and dance to the rhythm of love. I am still a work in progress. In the words of Scripture, they will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. They will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated. They will renew the ruined cities that have been devastated for generations. A growing plant, rising from the ashes, shooting for the stars. See, our generation struggles between fear and hope. Fear of one another, fear of the history recurring again. But underneath all that fear has a layer of hope. Hope is that thing inside us that insists, despite all the evidence to the contrary, that something better awaits us if we have the courage to reach for it, to work for it, and to fight for it. Hope is the belief that our destiny will not be written for us, but by us, by all those men and women who are not content to settle for the world as it is, who have the courage to remake the world as it should be. Rwanda stands as a mirror to every man's soul. We wish we could say that all the things that happened in Rwanda cannot happen anywhere else. But the reality is that what happened in Rwanda will happen in every place if we do not have the courage to fight for it. But Rwanda is also a testament not only to how much evil each one of us can do, but also how much good each one of us can do. And I hope that if Rwandans are able to live together, if Rwandans are able to try to live next to the people that massacred their families, if Rwandans are able to work every day to make sure that what happened in Rwanda doesn't happen again, then there is no excuse. There's no excuse for anyone around the world to say that it is too hard. There's no excuse for each one of you to say that you can't make the world a little bit better. Because if a person is willing to live next to a person that massacred their family, then what is your excuse? Rwanda is a sign that where there was division and hate, there could also be love and harmony. Rwanda is a sign that where people were once dead, that now they're rising up from ashes. And it's a testament to the capacity of us as human beings to rise from ashes. Nitwa Rwanda, Rwanda rushya, Rwanda rwa kera. Turababwira ati, hobe Rwanda. Thank you very much.
Just a quick note on their schedule. Today, when they leave here, they'll go to Miss Bouffard's English class. Then C and D block, they'll be down in Lauby Dining Hall by the fireplace where we were with Mr. McKesson. And then E Block, they'll be with a few classes in the faculty room. You're welcome to come by, even if you're not in those classes, E Block. And then tonight, they have a debate performance, and we'll send that out on news. We don't know the location, so they're going to put it on a debate performance at 7 p.m. tonight. So thanks a lot. Have a great day.